Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Combat Sports UK. It's Taylor Collard here, and I'm delighted to be joined this evening by one of the UK's hottest prospects, an absolute knockout machine, Corey Fry. Corey, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Great to have you on. Thanks for coming on, mate. We've got you this Saturday, Deniz Ilbay at OKTAGON 49 in Cologne. How are things running up to the fight? How is the tail end of camp going?
Yeah, it's going really good, mate. I was saying today that I feel like weirdly good, if that makes sense. I've come into this week feeling fresh, energized. The weight's coming off nicely. Yeah, it's good. Can't wait.
That's always good to know. How did the opportunity with OKTAGON come about? Obviously, we've seen 2 weekends ago. They obviously debuted in the UK and Manchester. How did the opportunity come about for you?
Well, I sort of sit down with my manager and my coach Steve Nightingale after my previous fight, and they just said we just looked at options on what options we could explore for obviously potential shows, and my fight manager had just come back from OKTAGON himself, and he was speaking to me. And he said it's unbelievable how it's ran. The show's like brilliant. You know, the people who run it are really, really good. Obviously, we've already got a connection with Brian Lacey, because obviously he was the main commentator at UK Fighting Championship. So we kind of had that relationship with him already. So yeah, it all just seemed to fall into place, and OKTAGON's always seemed to be a place that stood out to me. I actually messaged Brian Lacey when it first got announced for the Manchester card, and it was way before I even got signed or even talked about signing. I just said, I'll see you soon. And I ended up getting signed, and I was going to try fighting that card, to be honest, but for some reason the dates just clashed, so we went to Germany. Yeah,
sure, makes sense. I know there's it seems like a lot of people coming out of your gym, Northwest Fight Academy. You know, you've got Megan Morris and also Aaron Abbey, who fought on that Manchester card. Is there a kind of like a vibe in the gym of you guys getting picked up by OKTAGON, kind of a bit of banter going back and forth, or what's the atmosphere like?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. We've all been bouncing off each other, to be honest. You know, we've all had obviously Abbey to look up to. Even the way the fight had turned out, it's been his attitude after the fight and stuff. So he's been like a really good role model for like the positives and negatives of a fight. Do you know what I mean? And obviously Meg went out and caused a massive upset in Bratislava with an unbelievable performance. She's got more heart than 100 men. She's so tough, and she needs to give herself a little bit more credit, because she gives herself a bit of a knock every now and then. But yeah, she's one tough girl, and she did well to pull that out of the bag. So yeah, it's been a good vibe, but now it's my turn.
That's right. It is your turn indeed. Yeah, that Megan Morris fight was absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, guys, go back and watch that, because it was an incredible comeback. Just quickly before we touch on your fight, what did you make of the AB fight from Manchester the other weekend?
Yeah, it was. I was there watching. It was gutting. I knew it was going to be as soon as I saw it, I knew it was a bad cut. It was a decent cut. It looked more like a gunshot than it did a split. It was split three ways. It kind of like opened up, so it did look pretty bad. Obviously, me being biased and me being obviously a bit of a sore loser, I did obviously want it to get stopped. I understand why they did, because obviously it was a bad cut, and it was only the second round in, but he was dominating the fight. It's not like he was taking a massive amount of damage to it, and it wasn't getting significantly worse. It was just as bad at the end of the second that it was when it first happened. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted about it, but he took it like a champ. And I said the other day, with Abe's story and the way his life's been, it'd be too simple for him to just win it on the first fight. He's always got to go around the hills and houses, and there's got to be like a big story to it, and that's just Abe. And I said it'd be too simple if he won that night, but I think he'll come back, and I think he'll take that title, because it was picking that guy apart.
Yeah, I would agree. Being there live, I totally agree on that take. I think that's the way forward for him. Hopefully, he does get the rematch. We will be pressing for it as we go. We'd love to see that rematch. So, just jumping onto yourself, 5 out of 5 first round finishes, 100% finished rate. What do you have against the second round? Like, what's it ever done to you? You just get it
We,
always done in
we
the
don't
first
get
round.
we don't get paid for overtime, do we, in this game? So do you know what I mean? The more I hang about, the more damage I'm going to take. And to be honest, the knockouts, I don't like. My coach always says to me, I am one of the best strikers when I don't look for the knockout, when it just comes. And them last few fights I've had when I've been knocking them out, it's honestly like I've hit them and they've gone down, and I thought I didn't even put anything into that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just comes so like effortless in a way. But yeah, I just I've always been a striker from being a young kid. I've always gravitated towards striking, and it's just always been my natural gift to be able to put people to sleep. I'm like the human anaesthetic, aren't I?
That's a nickname. If you don't have one yet, that is your nickname, the human anesthetic. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think that's really interesting that you say that. That like when you get it, when you don't look for the knockouts, and it's really evident from watching your fights that that's exactly what happened. You put your combinations together really, really in a slick fashion, and you've used in the run up to this fight the word masterpiece, and you're gonna kind of make it look like a masterpiece. It's a good matchup for you. The guy's a boxer. When I look at masterpiece and I look at that Adam Gregory fight in particular, for me, you showed everything in that fight. You showed your takedown defense. You even attacked on submissions, and then the finish was just it was a thing of beauty. The left of the body and the right up top, exactly what you were talking about there. So how do you improve on a performance like that when you're looking towards a masterpiece? What do you see as success going into this fight?
Well, I think with this one, it's not going to be as one-dimensional. I just think that I'm just turning into the full package. I think I've always had good grappling. I've always got good wrestling. But one thing since starting Northwest Fight Academy is they've really helped me gel all three together. Because individually, I'm really good at them. But in the past, I've struggled putting, from striking to wrestling, from wrestling to grappling. So with Northwest Fight Academy, sorry, they've helped me put everything together. I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see the best version of me. Not this one-dimensional guy who just knocks people out. Obviously, I want to knock him out. Everyone wants to knock everyone out because that's what's going to propel your name into lights. But I want to be known as not only a devastating knockout artist, but I want to be, like I said on the quote, like I'm a first-generation MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've not come from a background like he has. I've not come from I have started off at MMA at 15 and I've been going continuous. So I just want to show now that I am the full package. I'm not a striker that's transitioned into MMA. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, in that Adam Gregory fight, he tried to shoot on you twice, realized it wasn't happening, kind of took the headlock and thought, "No, I'm not doing that again." And then
Yeah,
the hands came in.
I actually wrestled with him the other week. We did some sparring rounds, and he actually got hold of me in this spar. And I thought to myself, thank God he didn't get hold of me in the fight because he was so like ridiculously strong. He was massive. He said he was like mid 80 kilos. It was huge, and I thought, Jesus, like it's a good job I got him out the way I did. Not saying it wouldn't have happened anyway, but I felt the strength of him and stuff. I thought, he's a very good level lad. He took one of my teammates, Connor Hitchens. He took him to the points, and he got stopped in one of them. But he gave Connor two hard fights. Someone who I put on a massive pedestal in MMA. Do you know what I mean? So it was no shitbag. So I've done well to get him out of there the way I did.
Yeah, no, very, like I said, the combination's just a thing of beauty. Again, it's up on YouTube, so you can go back and watch. I think your highlights will be done pretty much in 15 minutes. You can watch all your fights to be ready for this one on Saturday. So credit to you because that's very, very exciting. So Deniz, what do we think of him going into the fight? He's obviously a German fighting in Germany. What do you think of him as a fighter? What do you see in his game?
I think he's a great fighter. I don't have anything against him. I can't say a bad word about him. Do you know what I mean? As in the fact of, he's had a really good professional boxing career. He's done really well. No one could take that away from him. I just feel like he's not fought anybody like me at pro, and I think it's much harder to transition into MMA for the fact of the all round aspect. Do you know what I mean? I think personally, and I don't want to sound too arrogant and too big headed, but I think I'm the much more crisper boxer, even though he's come from a boxing background. If you look at his last 5 fights and you look at my last 5 fights, every fight he's in is a war, and he's having to, push like a pace where I don't even need to get out of first gear, and I'm putting people out. Do you know what I mean? I've only shown one aspect of my game, and that's just precision. Like I said to you, I'm not even trying to knock these guys out and they're going to sleep. So what am I going to do to a guy that is running at me, trying to put everything in? I'm going to pick him off. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think I'm going to really excel in this fight. Is he relies on pressure and being explosive and reckless, where I think I'm that's why I got my name, the Sniper. Do you know what I mean? That's where Aaron Aber gave me the name, the Sniper, because I just pick my shots. I just sit at distance, just like a sniper would. I just pick my shots, and if they land, it's game over.
Yeah, I noticed that in your last fight, the Martin McDonough fight, that there's a moment in there where he swings and you kind of just matrix back a little bit. You kind of just get your way out of it. Where is that composure, like you said, you started at 15, is that composure kind of always been a part of your game, or is that something you've developed as the years and the fights have evolved, so to speak?
Well, I've definitely evolved that, as in, having the comfort on my feet. Because obviously when the younger you are, everyone's, like I say to everybody, everyone is scared of getting knocked out. Do you know? No one wants to be knocked out. But the more and more you find out that you're not made of glass. Do you know what I mean? I've had my chin tested so many times in sparring, in fights, and I've still never been knocked out, never been close to being knocked out. So, I've just got the confidence in my ability. I've got confidence in my chin. If someone's throwing a shot, the more I panic and the more I leave openings, I'm more likely going to get knocked out. The more I stay composed, I can see it coming from a mile away. And I know you can speak to anybody who has sparred with me, and even people that have fought with me. My distance management is ridiculous compared to most people. Do you know what I mean? I don't do anything stupid. I don't lunge in with big shots. Like I said with the Martin McDonough one, he was a good guy. He's beat some good guys in, very good guys. And he's fought some of the top guys in Cage Warriors. But he tried rushing me. I hit him with a shot, put him into a bad position, hit him with another shot, and he's gone down. Do you know what I mean? So I think my distance management and that is going to be too good for this guy.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, especially like you say, the styles kind of match it up that way. And with it being the occasion that it is, obviously we just talked off camera there about traveling into Germany, being in Cologne, the biggest indoor arena in Germany. I think this OKTAGON card has actually outsold what the UFC did back in, I can't remember which year it was, but I think they've outsold it already by about 4,000 or 5,000 tickets. Does that occasion bring more to you, or do you just see it as very much, this is the job, I go in there, get my job done, the rest is the rest? How do you feel about jumping into such a kind of a fire pit almost in enemy territory?
Yeah, well, if anyone says that it's not, it doesn't bother them, then I think they'd be lying, because obviously you're going into enemy territory and, potentially in front of 20,000 people that don't like you. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to be rooting for me, and that's the simple fact of it. But all I see is 20,000 people to upset. I'm going in there as the underdog. Do you know what I mean? I'm going in there. Well, to me, I've got something to lose, but really, I haven't got anything to lose. I'm going in there to fight their top boy. In fact, I'm there to cause an upset. Do you know what I mean? Even I've looked at the odds and stuff on the betting odds and stuff. I am the underdog on the fight, but that is a lot of pressure on him. Do you know what I mean? On paper, I'm meant to lose. I know I'm not going to, and I believe in myself that I'm gonna ruin this guy. But on paper, they think I'm meant to lose, so that puts double the pressure on him because he's meant to win. So I've got everything to gain. He's got everything to lose. So I think that's my biggest advantage for this fight.
No, yeah, great mindset going into it. It'll be 19,999 because I'll be in the building, and obviously I'll be supporting the Brits. There's a few of us on the card, so 19,999. So you got one in there. Don't worry. Just a quick one before we kind of wrap up. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, we had Big Tom Aspinall pick up the title this weekend. I'd love to hear your thoughts on obviously that achievement and also the landscape of British mixed martial arts at the moment. I mean, it seems like we're really going through a golden period on the world stage, and OKTAGON is one of those promotions that's really pushing the Brits at the moment. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, like I watched the fight with Tom. He's ridiculous, isn't he? To
Yeah.
move at that weight and the speed that he does, like that shot was so fast, like it was ridiculous. But for like English MMA, it's at the all-time high. You've got people like Nathaniel Wood, who I look up to. I think he's an unbelievable fighter. You've got people like Lerone Murphy, who was literally around the corner from me. Tom Aspinall's not too far away from me. You've got people like Leon Edwards bringing back UFC gold and stuff. So I think it's just paved the way for all these young fighters coming through, and I think that it's going to give us bigger opportunities in the future because it's showing for a little island. You know what I mean? For such a small island, how much talent we actually have coming out of this. We're literally a fighting nation. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think Tom was unbelievable, and I think the rest of the guys who were representing not just in the UFC. You've got people all over in all different promotions, like Dakota Cheva in PFL. She's absolutely smashing it. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got like Connor Hughes and that are coming through PFL. So I don't think it's just the UFC UK guys. I think it's I think everyone's doing a good job, to be honest. I think everyone's promoting themselves really well, and I think we're showing a very, very high standard.
Yeah, it really is. And OKTAGON's also another promotion that's investing heavily into it. They've already announced Newcastle and Birmingham for next year. So all being well, you probably have your eyes on those, but we'll stick to Cologne at the weekend. So I'll just throw it over to you for any final words, any shout outs, anything you want to say, obviously, before we wrap up.
Yeah, just thank you to all my sponsors. Without my sponsors, it's not manageable. They really do help me get through camp and help me with all my recovery, my nutrition, everything. So we've got. You'll have to give me a second. We've got UK Stove Installers. We've got Red Rose Insurance Solutions, Carter's Facilities, Joy Dubai, Lad United, Satan Slaves, Graphics, my S&C coach Chris Kirk, my barber Benny Woods, and just my team really. All my team down at Northwest Fight Academy, my coach Steve Nightingale, my coach Aaron Abbey, Jordan Chester, and all my teammates. My boxing coach, who's had a massive input in this camp, obviously going in against a boxer. My boxing coach Matt Bolton, he's done the world of good in this camp, and just finally my missus for everything she ever does for me, and she pushes me and motivates me to do what I do every single day. And love to you all.
Amazing. So that is Corey Fry fighting this weekend, this Saturday, OKTAGON 49 in Cologne against Deniz Ilbay. I think you're 3 from the main event, if I'm not mistaken. You're roughly middle of the main card. So a great stage for you. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. I'm personally, after watching your highlight reel, buzzed for this fight. If you haven't, go and watch Corey's fights on YouTube. There's at least 3 or 4 of them from UK Fighting Championships. You'll be done in 10 minutes, so don't worry. You can do it during your lunch break, whatever. It's all good. So thank you very much for your time, and best of luck for the fight.
Thank you too, and I'll see you soon.